Welcome back to the best damn training channel on YouTube. Today is going to be an upper body day. We're going to be going a little bit heavier, a little bit lower on the total number of working sets and reps because we're peaking towards our 1 rep maxes. And today's session is going to be bench press. I'm going to find some rows and some accessory variations, probably using some of the machines you see in here that I don't normally have access to, because I think it's really cool to kind of change up some movements that I normally don't have when I'm at my home gym, because I basically got barbells and dumbbells at home. So there are some machines in here I'm probably going to end up using, making today's session a little bit different. This is essentially week 1 of the peaking block, and we're going to be building towards 1 rep maxes. So I'm going to be starting off today with sets of 3 on the bench press. Going to be doing those around 140 to 150 kilos. Probably do 4, at most 5 sets on that. I've already done a couple warm-up sets, so I'm loading up the bar here. But one thing I want to say real quick is shout out to Capital City Barbell. So I'm in Tallahassee right now, and I found this gym, super dope gym. Essentially, it's a powerlifting gym, but they got a little weight room section in there, which you guys saw me doing with the snatches. But it's also just almost like a honor system type gym. Like, I walked in yesterday. There was just some waivers at the front. It says, if you're a guest, sign a waiver, send me this Venmo payment showing me that you paid for your guest pass, and then you could just come in and do it. The door opens at 7. I think it's connected to some sort of electronic thing, because there is nobody here. It's just open. I came in here, it's like 7:30. Nobody's come in here yet, but this place is pretty dope. When you know you got a good community and a good gym system, when you can just run off the honor system. Like, they got their little Venmo barcode up there, and it's like, hey, if you want a drink, take a drink, Venmo me for it. You can grab a t-shirt, Venmo me. All the prices for everything are on here. That's how you know you got a dope ass gym, and you got some good people that you don't have to worry about people coming in here and trying to take advantage of you. So shout out Capital City Barbell. If you're ever in Tallahassee, come to this place. This place is dope. So I'm gonna start warming up. We'll build up to the 140, 150 range. If 140 is feeling good, we'll do 145. If 145 feels good, we'll build up to the top end of that, because I do kind of want to push these sets a little bit, being that this is gonna be a peaking block. So I wanna try to increase that load and try to push that towards the higher end of the percentage range that I give myself on these. And then other than that, we're just gonna get after it for the 4 to 5 sets today. So we got 120 on the bar. Now, I don't know, these plates are like chrome plates with a slight colored bar in the middle, so you can kind of see. I don't know if you guys can pick that up, but we got 120 on the bar, and I'm just warming up with 3s. 3, like, if I'm doing sets of 6 and 8, I won't necessarily warm up with 6 and 8s. I'll probably do like 3, 4s, and 5s just to kind of get up there. I don't want to do too much additional volume prior to doing my working sets. When I'm doing things like 2s and 3s, then I'm just going to do 2s and 3s as I warm up, because it's not going to be adding too much unnecessary volume when you're looking at getting your warm-up sets in. And everything's feeling really good right now. So we're gonna go to 140 right off the bat. So I did 70, 100, 120, and now we're going to our first working set at 140. I'm about to hit 145 here. I'll do a triple 145, and then I'll probably do a triple at 150. I want to give you a little sneak peek for the rest of the week, though. Tomorrow, I'm going to be out the track doing some sprint work. It's supposed to rain, so I don't know if I'll be able to film it. If it's not raining, I'll try to get some film. But if it's raining, I'm just going to get the work done, so I probably won't have a video for that. On Friday, for those who have followed me from like the get-go, from before the YouTube channel really became a thing, who may have been watching like the live streams when I used to do that, this would have been years ago, probably 4 years ago plus. I'm gonna be training on Friday with Kyle. And if you know what that means, you know what that means. Kyle is a former teammate of mine when I was on the bobsled team. We were roommates for 3 years. We basically lived together for that entire period. So I'm gonna be down in Tampa. Kyle lives down there, and we're gonna get a session in together, and we're gonna do a video on that. Like I said, he was on the U.S. bobsled team with me. We were both on the national team. We competed together. We both barely missed the Olympic squad. Kyle was actually an alternate on the Olympic team, so he got to go to China and experience a little bit of all that. But Kyle is somebody that, if you guys remember, there was always kind of a little rivalry with Kyle and myself when it came to the live streams when we used to do that when I lived at the training center. But we'll be doing a video on Friday, which will be the second lower body day this week. So we got cleans, we got front squats, we got some jump and some stuff to do down in Tampa when I'm there with Kyle. So a little sneak peek on that. And then Saturday, potentially going to be doing another video at a gym called House of Athlete, which is going to be a gym down in Tampa as well. And then I have the following Monday is going to be when I get my stem cell treatment. So I'll be in Tampa getting that. Hopefully I'll be able to film some stuff that goes on with the stem cell treatment, show you guys what that's about. But then I also got another speed session I'm gonna do on Monday down in Tampa as well. So hopefully I can get the majority of that on film. Whether tomorrow is gonna be the factor on whether or not we see the sprints, but definitely going to get a video with Kyle, which I'm excited for. So I'm gonna hit 145 here though real quick. I'm gonna do one more set and we're gonna do it at 150. Next up, I'm gonna hit this row machine. So basically chest supported row, hammer strength type machine here. I'm gonna be doing sets of 6 on this. I want this to be heavy, so I'm thinking like RPE 8.5-ish is gonna be on that. If we overshoot this and get into a 9 or something like that, it's not a big deal. I just want this to be a heavier row. But what I'm gonna be doing is I'm not gonna be trying to keep my torso in a stable position. I'm gonna allow my shoulders to kind of protract, really get a good stretch and reach on that. And then as I roll back, I'm gonna be trying to get into a little bit of extension on that as well. So you'll see a little bit of like body English, upper body movement on this, which is fine. I'm just trying to load this up, get through range of motion, feel like I'm pulling something heavy, and then we'll move on to the next part. All right, that was a warm-up set because it was too easy. So I got 2 plates on it right now. I feel like I'm gonna need to do probably 3 or 4 plates on this. I'm gonna try to get 3 working sets in with 3 to 4 plates on this. That was better. So 3 plates on each side. I'll do sets of 6 on this. I think 6 is gonna be a good range, and then we'll move on to the next part. But I just like machines. I wish I had this. We're supposed to be getting more machines at the gym I train at in Iceland. When I get back, there should be new equipment in there, and a little bit more of an expansion. They were doing some construction as I was leaving. So I think it's supposed to be done prior to me getting back, which will be nice. But having machines is great because the difference between machines and free weights is if you only have one or the other, what I tend to see with people is people who only use free weights, barbell movements, dumbbell movements, they have a hard time isolating muscles and really feeling movements the way that you should be able to feel it. Having machines allows you to create more stability so you can create tension more specifically and isolate movement or muscle groups a little bit more precise. So having a machine and not doing a bent over row, this is going to allow me to really focus on the back and not have to worry about being in that bent over position and trying to stabilize against that barbell. So having machines allows me to isolate specific groups, hit it a little bit harder, be a little bit more specific with the intent on the muscle group. But on the flip side, people who have machines and only use machines, and maybe they don't use enough free weights, they have a hard time with those compound movements and trying to be able to like just move heavier loads, whether it be a back squat variation, front squat variation versus just doing leg presses, whether it's a bent over row versus doing machine rows, is that constantly using one versus the other is going to create some sort of limitations regardless of how well your training program is designed. So having that mixture is great, which is why when I travel, I like to have a mixture of machines in my programs. Even though I didn't program this movement specifically, I had barbell rows programmed. Having a machine is going to allow me, like I feel this much more specifically in like my mid back, like the erectors throughout the beginning with that flexion and extension as I'm doing this. I can feel it a little bit in my lats. I can feel it in my arms a little bit. It's a different feeling than doing a bent over row, and it's more isolated specifically in that middle region of the back and in the lats. So there's a plus to doing both. Ideally, mix it up. Even if if you're following one of my programs and I'm programming bent over rows and you want to use machines, switch it up. Like that's a great thing to do. I program the way I program because simply I have access to the equipment that I have access to. But if you have access to different things, like if you have a seated row machine and you want to use seated rows instead of a bent over barbell row, that's a perfectly fine substitute if you want to do that. Having any other machine, whether it could be an overhead row if you want to, like the change of the movement isn't going to change up the program too much. If anything, you're just going to get stronger in different movement patterns versus another. But the overall goal of like this program, which is going to be squat big, bench big, and get a big deadlift, like those little specific nuances on specific movements doesn't change the program with the intent that you're going to get. If anything, you're just going to hit different muscle groups and different patterns and be able to create different tension throughout different movements. But overall, you're still going to get stronger. You're still going to get better. So I like machines. I think they're great. If you have access to them, spice it up, you know, sprinkle some machines in there. If you only have access to machines and you want to do some more barbell movements, sprinkle in some more barbell movements. So the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to get better. All right, one more set of the rows. One thing that is absolutely fantastic is the fact that I have a dip bar to actually do my dips with today. I don't have to set up 2 barbells on a squat rack. So I'm very excited for this dip bar. But I'm gonna have 30 kilos on the bar, 2 sets of this, 2 to 3 reps in reserve. We're gonna kind of push this, try to get as much reps as we can in those 2 sets, as long as we stay within that rep in reserve range. And then we're gonna also do some hammer curls might actually just superset these and go back and forth. But this will be the last couple things that I do today. My upper body days have really been focused on like a heavy push, a heavy pull, and then just very little accessory work to get that way, because I'm not trying to create too much fatigue in these sessions. What I'm really trying to do is push my main movements, use that as my strength work, do enough work on the assistance type stuff so where I'm not going to be having any sort of like detraining effect going on because I'm not hitting muscle groups specifically. The dips are going to stay in the program regardless of where I'm at. So even if there was a tricep machine in here, I don't think you can replace dips with any other tricep movement. So I'm gonna keep the dips in here. We're gonna load this up, go heavy, do a couple sets on the biceps as well, and then that's gonna be it for today's session. So if you like what you see, make sure to like. If you wanna see more and you aren't subscribed, I would really appreciate it. It helps out the channel a bunch. So subscribe to the channel, enjoy the dips, enjoy the curls. I hope you guys have a good day. I'll catch you on the next one.